me unmute myself. Sister Ebra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I should leave my mic on. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm sharing my full screen just in case. It's because of the practical. That's why we can see. Okay. Okay, how we can also reset our password and system connected to the LAN. Now, for some of the systems that we have in the office, for those that are managers and above, we've done it in such a way that they have control over their system. Now, when I say control, it means that things like password reset, they can do it themselves. And the reason why we have to do that is because they can be mobile. They can decide to take their system off premises. And also for people who work remotely, we didn't join them to the Active Directory. They're actually on our Active Directory, but we did not add them. So we're giving them full control. So they can do things like password reset themselves. They can troubleshoot it themselves, for those who use laptop. But if you use desktop and it's on premises here, definitely you're on our Active Directory. And every month we have a user policy. Okay, I didn't get that. So every month we actually have a user policy. What was I saying before? Every month the Active Directory is such that it will ask you to reset your password. These are security measures that we've put in place. So it's not a big deal. Then also web troubleshooting. In this course, you also learn how you can install. I'm going to show you can configure your email address without that time. Then now you can also check your email from your webmail, and now you can get the configuration to install or configure your webmail on your system. Did you get that? Then now you can also reset your password. That as a user will have access to your email address. I don't know if I can also show you, if there's still time, I'll also show you how you can also reset your password on Office 365. I want to try and make it as fast as possible. Now, first of all, knowing your computer or device. I'm going to use this as an example. This is my desktop. Now, how do I know what my computer is about? What is the configuration on my system? What are the things I need to know as a basic user? So first of all, if I'm using a Windows system, the reason why I have to bring this is the laptop I use at home. The reason why I have to bring my Windows system is for us to be able to see, because usually I'm on the Mac. So what you first do, first of all, is you click on the folder icon. The folder icon is usually on the taskbar. The simplest way to get there. Now, once you do that, just look for this PC, or anywhere you find this PC on your system. Right click on it and simply go to properties. I know most of us can relate with this. So the moment you click on properties, it's going to show something about this PC. You can see on the screen. Can we see it? Yes. Yeah. You can see about this PC, the name of the device. For us in the Fountain of Life Church, you'll be seeing things like TFLC-admin01 or TFLC-account01. Now, that's the name of your device. Now, in situation where it's your personal device, you can see your name in some cases. You can, configure the device as your name or whatever you want to configure the device as. So that's what's going to display at that section where you have the device name. Then processor. Processor is what works, that helps your computer to work faster. I'm trying to be as simple as possible so that we can understand. Now, in my own processor here, I can see an Intel Core TM i7. It's a Core i7 system. Now, for those who use like Core i3 or i5, you see something like Intel Core, something i3 or i5. And it has a speed of about 2.90 gigahertz, of speed, which is fast enough for what I use it for. In some cases, it can be up to 3-point-something or even higher. Then what do I also have on my system that I need to know about is the RAM. the random access memory is the RAM. Now, what is the specification of my RAM? The specification of my RAM simply is just 8 gig RAM. I can decide to upgrade it if I want to, based on the specification of the system I use. Now, for those people that use like a Core i3 and you say, I want to upgrade it to 16 gig RAM, your system may not be able to accommodate it. So you need to also check the specification of your system and also go online and do your research and find out if the kind of system that you use, can accommodate you expanding the RAM. Now, the remaining information underneath you may not need to bother yourself about, but there's something also you need to know, your system type. Is it a 32-bit system or a 64-bit system? These are a bit technical, but you just need to know that I use a 64-bit. The reason is because if, for example, the OS crashes, or maybe the OS become, start misbehaving, and you need to upgrade or you need to reinstall the OS. Now, basic questions that the person that will be installing the system for you, and you are unable to access the system, and the person wants to install the system from scratch. The first question the person will ask you is, what bits, what system type do you use? Is it a 64-bit or a 32-bit? These days, most systems are usually 64-bit because 64-bit systems are higher. And people that are graphic-oriented, people that use more of graphics, get to use more of the 64 bits because they are a lot more faster. Now, what else do I need to know? The Windows specification. What is the Windows specification of my device here? The Windows specification of my device here is a Windows 10 Pro. Then what version is a 22H2? You may not need to bother yourself about that. Installed on, when was it installed? Okay, faster. Okay, so I think we've been able to get this. Please don't rack your head too much. It looks detailed, but now my next slide was, okay, ending troubled apps and unknown apps. Let me just show you what you would do, ending troubled apps. Basically, once you notice an app is misbehaving on your system, you need to quickly shut it down. Just do Control-Alt-Delete. Please watch my screen. Now, at the same time, when you do Control-Alt-Delete, there are different options that it gives you. If you need to lock your system sharp and leave the premises, just click on the lock. Once I click lock, it will lock my system and won't grant anybody access to the system except you have the username and password. Switch account. You can switch account from one user profile to another user profile. When you press the Control-Delete, then sign out. You can sign out of this account and sign into another profile that is on the same system. Then Task Manager. Now, Task Manager is actually where I'm going to. Once I click on Task Manager, a pop-up is going to come up. Can we see? Yeah, you can see all the apps that are currently running on my system. I can see Google Chrome, I can see Teams, I can see Microsoft Copilot, I can see my Microsoft PowerPoint and the rest. Now, the moment I click on it, it's going to activate the end task. Once it activates the end task and I click end, it will end that program. Now, that's all you need to know. Okay. And there are all other things there, but please don't bother yourself about it. Some of us may not even have access to this part of your system because the administrators, it's only available to administrators. It's only available for administrators' privilege. Then also antivirus scanning and updating OS. For most of us that use Windows on premises, there's usually eScan. You see eScan on your system. I don't have it here. This is my personal system. Because there's Windows Defender. And I believe Windows Defender is enough to also, update my system. Windows have done it in such a way that they have their embedded antivirus. But people still prefer to use a third-party, application like eScan, Kaspersky, QuickE. There's another popular one again, Norton Antivirus and McAfee. So if you have any of these, please regularly scan your system. It's important. And anytime you're using a device on your computer, please make sure you scan that device before, opening the device because of virus. Now, how do you scan it? Once you open the antivirus, you see a section, a button called scan. Just tap on that button, then scan your system. It's going to secure your system or push out any virus that's recently dropped on your computer. And wireless and LAN troubleshooting. Wireless and LAN troubleshooting is one of the major calls that we get often. So how do I troubleshoot? Basically, what you need to do whenever you notice that you don't have internet. For those of us that use laptop and you are connected to the Wi-Fi, all you just need to do is just come to the lower your taskbar here and check. Just click on the wireless icon. Once you click on the wireless icon, you will see different wireless that are available. First of all, you need to check if you are connected. If you are not connected, please just click on the connect button. I don't want to disconnect. If I disconnect now, it's going to disconnect me off things. So all you just need to do is just click on the connect. However, if you are connected and you notice that you still do not have internet, what do? I can disconnect and reconnect. You can see the disconnect button. Yeah, all you just need to do is just tap on the disconnect and reconnect. In some cases, it will ask you for the username and password. That can be tempting at times. All you just need to do is restart your system and try and connect. If it still does that, you can call 111 or call IT. Somebody will attend to you and send you. Usually, we don't give password to people except some level of people. And normally the standard is usually we set the wireless password at least every 3 to 6 months, 3 or 6 months. Just for security reasons, because often we realize that a lot of people have access to our Wi-Fi. So a measure to protect and keep everybody give everybody access to using the internet and use it properly is to regularly change the password, which we've actually been doing anyway. So those are the basic issues. Then another thing you need to know is that when you notice that your internet is not going, there's a section called troubleshoot problems. Just tap on it. When you tap on it, it's going to give you an option to click next. Once you click next, to start troubleshooting, it's going to fix your wireless. At times, once your wireless card stays dormant for a long time, it may need you to reactivate it. So that's where this troubleshooting comes in. Just click on the troubleshoot button and to troubleshoot your wireless, then you now have access to, then after and reconnect, I believe you should have access to the internet. But if you still don't, and you have other options of wireless available, you can try and reconnect to them. You can see Chapel, you can see Teleport, see Church. Just try any of those wireless and connect. Password reset on LAN. Like I said the other time, just press your Control Delete. You see the option for you to. The reason why I didn't show is because I'm not connected on the LAN. I'm an individual on my own. But if you are connected on the LAN and then you were configured in-house, you definitely have that option to reset your password. So that shouldn't be an issue. Does anybody have questions so far before we move to the web troubleshooting? Any question regarding this? Or if you have any question of regular issues that you face and you'd like to bring it up so we can address it now. Any question? I know for people who have Mac, they can relate. I know we should be able to, just in case. Okay, sir.
Control of delete doesn't work when it freezes.
When your system freezes, usually when your system freezes, just press your power button. Give it some time. Give it for some time for it to unfreeze itself. And if it doesn't unfreeze after maybe like 5-10 minutes, that system needs to be attended to. And if it does that and you still don't have access to it, just press the power button for like some seconds, maybe like 5 seconds. It automatically shuts down the system. Then press the button again, comes up. When it comes up, restart. Now, restarting, like Tunji said in the last session, restarting does a lot of magic. Restarting fixes a lot of bugs and issues along the way. It corrects a lot of error. Restarting is like flushing your system. It brings the system back to life. So after it does that, restart your system. Then also, I have noticed that some people, the reason why their system freezes is because they open a lot of tabs on Google Chrome. When you open a lot of tabs, I can assure you each tab on that your Google Chrome is utilizing your processor. So when you bombard your processor with too many tasks, at some point it will freeze your system. That's when you notice that the fan starts making noise. So when you notice that the fan is making noise like that, all you just do, reduce the taps. You get, when you reduce the tap, leave the system idle for a while and start using the system, you notice that the fan will stop itself. But if you continue like that and you keep using it, after some period of time, it start affecting the processor, it start affecting the system. You now notice that the system start becoming hot at the bottom. You know, and there are some people, once they are using their system, especially those that have laptop, they will put the laptop on their laps, or maybe they put it on the bed, or maybe they put, usually it's not even advisable to put the laptop like this because the filter, the air filter is usually at the bottom. And so if it doesn't, get room, opportunity to blow out the heat, it starts, absorbing back the heat. And as a result, it starts affecting, the system itself. Is there any other question? Any other basic question before we move to the email? I know that email is critical, and I know people have questions regarding email. We'll get there now. Are we good? Okay. People online, do you have any question? No, they don't need to say check again. Now they can talk. Yeah, if you are online, talk.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay. Please proceed. Okay,
my question has to do with the antivirus scanning. Are you saying that with the eScan that has been installed on our system, we can go deliberately to just scan our device, not when the antivirus prompts us? Must we wait until the antivirus installed prompts us, or we just do our own regular scanning on our own is it unprompted?
Usually it's until the system, there are two ways. Usually, your system may not prompt you to scan the antivirus may not prompt you to scan your system. So it's your own prerogative to try as much as possible to always scan your system. Once you notice that your system is misbehaving, or you notice some kind of behavior, with your system that is unusual and normal, please just go ahead and scan. Then also, when you get a device from someone, maybe somebody brings a device for you to copy a file, it is important that you scan that device before opening the device. But at random, you can decide to scan. There's nothing wrong if you decide to scan on your own, but usually your system will not prompt you to scan. The only thing your system will prompt you to is to do things like updates. Except, you're using a different kind of antivirus, but most antivirus will not even prompt you to scan. The scan will just be there, except maybe, usually they don't. True or false? Okay, it prompts you to scan. Your eScan prompts you. Oh, it does, it prompts. Okay, maybe because I've not been using eScan for a while. I've actually been using Mac. But if it does prompt you, please go ahead and scan. But me, I know most antivirus, maybe before now, they don't, prompt you that. But if it does prompt you, please go ahead and scan. It's usually advisable you scan as much as possible to prevent. Scanning is like washing your computer of stains, and if it does that, please scan. Don't discard it. And if you see updates, to call us in IT. If you notice, just call us to find out if it's necessary for you to run the update. Then again, at times, I noticed that anytime you try to shut down your system or restart your system, it gives you an option and says update and restart, or update and shut down. Don't discard it. Most times, people will just say, if I update, it will take a lot of time, and I want to go home on time. Please don't. Once you see update and shut down, please update and shut down. Because if you don't update and shut down, you may come back tomorrow and find it difficult to access that computer. And again, when it's updating and shutting down and it's taking too long, don't forcefully shut it down, like I know some people will do. They will forcefully shut it down. They will call IT the next day. IT, this computer is not coming up. Or it's coming up and it's taking forever to come up. No. Once it's shutting down and you notice that process of it shutting down, please allow it to shut down before you go home. Now, if you really know, you really want to get home on time or you want to go home, you can put it on UPS or maybe put it in a place where you know that it will be there and the power won't go off. Because the power should go off while your system is shutting down or while your system is running or installing an update. I don't know, for those of us that use Windows, at times you will see, don't shut down this system until. So it will tell you, don't shut down before, don't forcefully shut this system down, allow it to finish the process. Because if you alter that process, you will damage your system. And there are some processes in life that you cannot do. So that's it. Okay, sir. Question. Okay, we are using a desktop. If it's a desktop, no, laptop, there's battery now. Please look for a place so you will find it. Or you let us know. Do you know that subsequently, if it does that, you know what? If it does that once, you can still survive it. You will survive that incident. But if it does that consecutively, you may not survive it over time. You understand? So if you notice that the first time he did that and you survived it, the second time, just call IT so that we can fix your battery. No. The next time, what I'm saying is that if it does that and your system survives it the next day, you get it? If it does that and your system, and you decide to shut it down, regardless of the status of the battery, and the next day when you returning back for work and you put on your system and it comes up and you're able to use the system, please inform IT at that point so that we can fix your battery so that doesn't happen again. Because if it does that, the more it keeps doing that, it starts creating like what you call it starts breaking the system process. After a while, the system will now start developing issues. So you understand? So if you are having issues with your batteries, that's why we are here. Your laptop batteries, your desktop UPS batteries, let us know. We'll get it fixed. Any other question? Now, I'm going to go straight to the web for our webmail. Still have time. Now, I'm going to start with the webmail before I go to the Outlook. For the webmail, how do I access my official email? Now, if, for example, you're having issues with Outlook or Apple Mail or Google Mail, that you used to configure your official email that was allocated or assigned to you. Another option is to access your email via a browser. Now, how do I access my email via a browser? All I just need to do is open a browser. Either I'm opening Google Chrome, Firefox, what's the other one? Microsoft Edge, Safari for those that use Mac. All I just need to do is come to the box and type tfolc.org/webmail. Now, once I type you can either say tfolc.org/webmail or www.tfolc.org/webmail. Now, when you do that, this is what you see on your screen. Now, the moment you see this, just come and enter your username that was assigned to you and your password. Now, the moment you do that, it's going to grant you access into your mailbox. You can see my mailbox. This is how you can access. Now, for me to get the configuration to install my mail on Outlook on my mobile device or on my laptop, for example, where do I get those information from? All I just need to do is click on Web Home inside your webmail. Did we see that? What I clicked on? Webmail Home. Webmail Home. Once you click on that, you will see a lot of configurations that you may not that you may not be, now, you can see a lot of configuration that you may not even be aware of. Now, you can reset your password from here. If I click on password and security, it's going to show me the option of me resetting my password. What password do I want to reset? I want to change my password to. Maybe, for example, you notice that your password may have been compromised. You can come here immediately and enter your password, enter the new password, type what you want, come to the second text box, confirm the password, then click save. The moment you click save, now, you log out of that account and enter with the new password that you've created. That means your password has changed by default. I don't want to change my password so that it doesn't deny me access into my mailbox. Now, there's another thing I want us to note is the configure mail client. Configure mail client. This is where you get the information to configure Outlook or configure Google Mail or configure Apple Mail on your mobile device. Now you can see. Now there are two options. If you see under application, you can see Windows Live Mail and all the configurations. Once I click on any of them, it's going to drop down that file. Now, once it drops the file on my system and I click on that file, I'm going to show you an example. This first one is for people that use Windows system or Windows devices like Windows mobile devices. The second one is for people that use iOS, iPhone, iPad, iPod, macOS, or maybe, for example, you need to install on your mail, that's the Apple Mail. All you just need to do is just come here, for example, click on the IMAP over SSL/TLS. Once you tap on it and you click proceed, it will start downloading. Yeah, it will start downloading. You can see here. This is the file here. It will download the exact configuration of my mail account. Now, once it downloads and you install, it will go and install based on what you selected. So by default, it will install it on your Apple Mail. Once you install, the next time you open your Apple Mail, you'll notice that your mail has already been configured. So you don't need to go there and manually configure. However, if you now want to manually configure, the configuration that you are looking for is usually here under secure SSL/TLS settings recommended. You can see my username. He has given me my username, lawal.olaoye@tfolc. My password, I know my password. My incoming server, I can see tfolc.org. My outgoing server, I can see the same tfolc.org. The port for my IMAP, we use IMAP, like I explained the last time, the difference between IMAP and POP. IMAP, your mail stays in the cloud. POP, your mail stays on your device. Now, so regardless of the one you decided to pick, if you decided to pick IMAP, definitely your port will be 993. The same thing applies to the outgoing server. Your port has the SMTP server. Your port is 465. So when you are configuring it on your mobile device, maybe Outlook or Google Mail, note those information, very important. So you know that your outgoing server or incoming server is tfolc.org. You enter it, it will indicate your port for the incoming server is 993. Outgoing server is 465, something you can do yourself, or you just download it and from your webmail and install, then you are home and dry. Then we have the general server address that we talked about the last time, which is called nc-ph-2476.fountaindns.com. That is our default server. It's the location to our server where it's located in the cloud. You can use that on any device, Daniel, you can use that on any device, whether you're using iMac or you're using iPhone, or you're using Windows Phone, or you're using Android, or you're using a Windows system, that works perfectly well. Then, now we all know how to reset our password. Do we have questions? Do you have any question? So let me go back to that same setting. Now, in that setting that I mentioned earlier on, those are the basic things that we need to know. Any other thing you can explore. Learn about forwarding, email filter, auto responders. If you want people to get an auto responder in case you are not on ground, maybe you are on leave, and whenever people send you a mail or maybe send you a message, they get an auto-generated email that I'm not around, I'm on leave. If you have any issue or if you need to contact me, you can call me on this line or via this number, or you can see so person will attend to your needs. Thank you. These features are available. You can explore them at your leisure time. And we also have a spam filter to filter. If you notice that you are getting spam mails, when you go to this spam filter, for example, you can select. Now, by default, this is actually the default for spam filter. Just click submit. You can increase the custom thread from 5 to, like, how many, Daniel? Spam filter. Okay, we should leave it at 5. Yeah, spam filter. So it's good at 5. Yeah. So we also have two-factor authentication. If, for example, you want to make your email more secure, you can enable two-factor authentication on your mailbox. So that whenever anybody have access to your email, for example, they don't have easy access into that email. Do we understand? You can enable a two-factor authentication. Why is it not? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. For my own account, I've not activated it. I thought I did. So you can set it up, and use either your Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. Just scan this QR code. Then using your Google Authenticator app or Microsoft Authenticator app, you can be using it regularly to access your account. So you just need to do, once you scan it, the code is generated via the Google Authenticator app or the Microsoft Authenticator app. You will definitely need to be entering it for you to be able to access your email. For those of us that our emails are very sensitive, I think we need to, activate this. It's just a suggestion. But if you feel you don't need it, there's no cause for alarm. But it's usually advisable that you do it if you can. Yes. No, the two-factor authentication is to access your mailbox, your email. You understand? For security reasons. If, for example, you have it on your device, for example, and your device is stolen and is left open, or maybe you did an autofill. Do you understand? You activated autofill via the browser because you access it via your browser. And if the autofill is activated and anybody gain access to your laptop, mobile phone, they can easily access your email. Do you understand? But if you have the two-factor authenticator enabled or activated, they won't. Because the next option that the team will be asking them is, please enter the authenticator code, which they may not have. Do you understand? So the next step is which is the final practical for today, is configuring Outlook. I thought I'd open the Outlook. Launch the Outlook app. Do we all know how to configure Outlook on our mobile device? Now, apart from your system, you can also have Outlook on your mobile phone. You can actually have Outlook on your mobile phone. For those that use Android, just search for Microsoft Outlook. Once you find it, install it, then add your official email to it. So you can be seeing your mails on the go. But if you don't want it on your mobile device, you can install it on your laptop for those that use Windows. But for us that use Mac, what you do for Mac, since you already have the Office 365 account, you can configure it, on your Outlook via your Office 365 account, or you use your normal Apple Mail. Now this is mine. Now let me go. Now, for those of us who use Windows, the Windows users, Now, how do I configure an account on my Outlook? After you've installed Outlook on your system and you've entered your Office 365 login to activate that Outlook. Now, I need to explain this. For those of us who have Office 365 account, now your Office 365 username and password is your license to that account because the church has already paid for that license. Meaning, if you have Office 365 installed on your desktop, you will definitely have access to things like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, because they all come together. They are a bundle of applications that comes with your, that come with your username and password license. So if after configuring the Office 365 apps on your system via Microsoft Office, you will have access to all of these apps, including Microsoft Outlook, using the email account that was given to you. That's the Microsoft Office account, which is usually your email address. And in some cases, the password may be different from your webmail password. So the moment you enter that username and that password, it automatically activates your Microsoft apps. Do we understand? It's like your license. Do we understand? You understand? Yeah. So once it activates that, you can now easily open your Outlook. Now, the moment your Outlook is open, you can now decide to add an account. Now, how do I add an account? I open my Outlook, for example, if I'm using a Windows system, I come to File, I will see the option to add an account, I click on it. Once I click on it, it's going to do this. It's looking for internet. Now, because I already have the account installed on my system, I may not be able to reinstall it for those of us that use Windows. But for people that use Mac, Mac can allow you to install as many emails as possible via Outlook. But for now, everybody seated here, do we all have Microsoft Office 365? I know aside from the Office assistants, if you don't have Microsoft Office 365 or you don't have an official email address, can you signify by raising up your hand? If you don't have Office 365 account, I know Victor doesn't have Office 365 account because he doesn't have access to his system. I'll be true of us. And I know, what's their name? Busayo doesn't have account. But people who have regular access and use for their day-to-day. Oh, okay. Victor, if you don't have Office 365, okay, if you don't have Office 365 account, can you please signify by raising up your hand or hands? Okay. One. Yes. For those who have Office 365, do you have it on your mobile device? You have it on your mobile phone? You don't. So after today's class, you should. You have to, because you may need to, respond to some emails while you're at home or on the go. It depends. And again, Sister Elsie, your office is critical. You are in the level of, please, you need to have it on your mobile device. So I think basically, so once you come here, just enter your email, and the next thing is going to ask you your password. Now, once it does that, please go ahead and install. If you have an issue, please call IT. We can put you through. We have time for you. So I don't want to go beyond this so that it doesn't multi-install my email address on my Outlook. Do we have any more questions? I think this is basically the practical. Then the next slide is, there's actually a feedback form. Do you want to attempt this question? Okay. Okay, so I don't. Now there's a feedback form. Do you want to attempt question or just the feedback form? This is the QR code. You can scan it and give us your feedback. Yeah. Give us feedback on what you feel about IT. And so we can improve better. You can scan it. For those online, please scan the QR code, fill the form, and submit. Are we good? Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. No, I have a question.
Sorry, can we know you?
Please tell us your name and ask your question.
My name is Iboro Tonyedet.
Okay.
My question is more or less like a suggestion. Is it possible that we get your documents or the file that you have shared so that we can go and look through it? Because it's so much we have been bombarded with, and it's not as if we are in an IT school that will get lecture notes to go back and study. We have other things we will do after, and other things we replace in our mind. This week is more like some sort of reminder. So is it possible that we can get this document after the entire presentation from IT? It's sent to our email so that we can look through some things that you've told us we do not need to be calling IT for. We can always make reference to it.
The point is, noted.
And Mr. Iboro, you definitely get it. So, as I showed.
Going forward, all presentations will always share with everybody. In fact, all the previous ones, I think we put it in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. And again,
even the video too. The video is online. All the videos we have is online. You can go to Teams and watch the video. Now, the final slide. We actually have a video that we want to play. Okay. This video from IT. Moment with the team. Okay.
How we also can upskill ourselves and get better. We appreciate it in spite of a bit of glitches here and there. We are grateful. So, but going forward, the next department will be the procurement unit. However, next week we're going to pause on the technical and also take a bit of a soft skill related subject. I don't know what it's going to be yet. It's either I'm taking it directly or I'm able to bring somebody from outside that will speak to us on the subject area that would further help all of us to be better at what we do. So thank you so much. I think gradually we are settling into this, and I will just continue to encourage that we can't, get tired of learning, just like you can't get tired of breathing. All right, that's the way it is. So please let us continue to refer back to some of the presentations that we have made. The content, everything, both the video and the slides, they are available on the shared folder. I realized that we didn't get to the point whereby you show them how to navigate to all the share folders that we have. But again, it's very basic. If you're having issues, you can either call the help desk or reach out to any individual within the IT team. So thank you so much, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same place, probably a different facilitator. God bless you. and enjoy the rest of your day. All right. Say good morning again to your neighbor and give the person high five. Give somebody a high five.